I'm standing for the Green Party in this election because I believe this is quite possibly the most important general election in terms of the climate. It's been announced today that carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere are continuing to increase despite the effects of the Paris Accord. This is catastrophic, really, in terms of global warming and the effects that that's likely to have around the planet. And I feel like we need to give people an opportunity to firmly state that this is something they are concerned about, and we as a nation need to be taking steps to make sure that we continue in doing our bit to lower emissions. We've done very well. In the UK has led the way in lots of areas, and we need to continue that, particularly around renewables, but also helping people make decisions about their own lifestyles. People are aware of the impact of methane from agriculture and trying to move to a less meat-based diet. So I think there's lots of things that people need to do individually, and I think one of the things they can do is vote green to make sure that whoever ends up in power has their feet firmly to the fire, so that we're actually saying, look, this needs to be at the core of every decision that we make going forward. This isn't a sort of edge of policy part of life going forwards. This is something that needs to be right at the core of all decision making. Well, the arrangement that we've come to with the Lib Dems and Plaid Cymru are reciprocal, which means that we are standing aside in 60 seats and they're standing aside in target seats for us, seats that we're likely to win, like the Isle of Wight and Bristol West. Now, the Labour Party has not made any approaches around reciprocal arrangements. Their understanding is that we would move aside and there'd nothing in return, which just doesn't work for us, I'm afraid. We would need them to be, doing something for us in return for our good turn for them in Shipley. We believe that there should be a green name, a green box on the ballot paper to give people that option. But we also understand that the electoral system is really rigged against minor parties. We have 1 million votes in the last election. We got 1 MP. The SNP in Scotland had 1.3 million votes and they got 56 MPs. So the system is just wrong. First past the post doesn't work anymore. But the Labour Party will not make a commitment to proportional representation, which we would need them to do if we were to go into any working arrangement with them. We're the only nation in Europe to have first past the post at this electoral level at general elections, and we feel that's just not going to work for us if we work with a party who don't believe in something that's really at our core. It's really fundamental to how we are as Greens. So in terms of being here in Shipley, we're a political party. We stand in elections. That's what we do. We're going to be on the paper, and we're going to give people that opportunity to vote green, because this is the climate election. We're a firmly Remain party and have been throughout. We firmly believe that we are in a better position to be part of Europe. Our position would be, however, that we would remain and transform from within. We understand there are issues with the European Union. In some senses it is an unaccountable body, but we believe that we're better within it than without it. The Liberal Democrats would immediately revoke Article 50, which we would not do. We would continue the negotiations through to a deal, but then we'd go back to the people with the people's vote to give them the opportunity to have a final say on any deal that was brokered and the opportunity to remain, given that now we're all fully informed on what we were getting into. We felt that the Brexit referendum was full of misinformation. People have changed their minds since. But we do appreciate that there were a lot of people who made that decision firmly, and they want to continue with the process, and we will do that. We will take it through to the end point of any deal, but then go back for a people's vote to put Brexit to bed once and for all. Climate's so important because scientists are collectively telling us that we're in a climate emergency. The climate is on the verge of breakdown. greenhouse gases are building. In fact, today they've announced that in 2018, greenhouse gases were higher than they've ever been since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and are 150% plus up on those levels, which has dire effects for people across the globe. Sea level rises, intensification of weather systems, so more rain, but warmer summers, intense hurricanes, all of those things are going to increase in intensity. And they're telling us we've got 12 years to make real differences and start to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We believe that we have to hold government to account to make sure that these things happen. This is the climate election because the time frame is so short. The Greens have put forward a radical manifesto to address some of these issues and bring the timetable forward, because we believe that since 2015, the changes haven't been quick enough. We have done amazing work on renewables, but that needs to continue. We need to divest ourselves of fossil fuels. We have a love of oil. We've based our entire economy around oil, and it's going to be a difficult process. But the technologies are here, and with the support of government and individual choices, we can really start to make a massive difference on how these things pan out over the next 12 years. And only the Green Party is doing this. Other parties have got elements of their manifesto that address some of these things, but we are holding it right at the core of everything we're going to do going forward. We're going to have, in number 11 Downing Street, a climate chancellor, so that every decision that is made is based around its effects, or potential effects on the climate. It's that important, because we really only have one planet and we need to take care of it, and at the moment we're not doing a very good job. My message to the voters of Shipley in the general election 2019 is that every Green vote counts, because it sends a very clear message to the other parties that the climate emergency is real and that we need to take action. But it also sends a message to them about our electoral system. First past the post is a system that doesn't work anymore, and it means that the majority of people who vote, they don't take part in the final analysis. 65% of people's votes effectively were wasted in the last general election. And finally, I'd say that a Green vote is a vote for the future, because we really need to be dealing with some of these things that the other parties are saying they're going to be dealing with, but on a much longer time frame. We're saying it needs to be dealt with now. Now, my message to the people of Shipley would be, if you don't vote Green at this election, when will you? If not now, when?